QSAA, Quarter Scale Aircraft Association. This event is held annually in Las Vegas, Nevada, around the end of October. It is not a contest, but rather a gathering of modelers and manufacturers alike to display and fly their latest products. The quality is unsurpassed by any other contest in the country or event in the country. Every year the aircraft get larger and larger. On Thursday night they have an auction. That is very professionally run. Listen to that auctioneer. On Friday the flying starts. It's on the dry lake bed in Las Vegas. And what a field it is. Look at the mountains in the background. And the aircraft take to the sky. This is one of the largest events we've ever been to. It's a gathering of over 200 aircraft and flyers from all over the world who gather together to show off unique items that they had built over the year. Taxing out is Bruce Thorpe with his Spacewalker. It's a third scale Spacewalker, which is now released by SIG Manufacturing. He's on a run and he's airborne. You'll find very few hangar queens at this event. And that's surprising, considering the quality of these models. I have never seen such precision scale models in my life. And then you see them in the air.
Thank you.
Flying it. Here's a beautiful Chanspot biplane, built by Noel Hess and being flown by Noel Johnson. This airplane is beautiful. Look at its presence in the air. Here he comes in on approach. Listen to the sound of that engine.
Ready to flare back on the stick. Become landing. There we go.
Hits the throttle and around he goes again.
Coming up back on the tower. On the biplane now. And flying a little left aileron going into a bank. Smoke is on the aerobatic airplane. Testing the smoker out. All aerobatics can be done on the back side.
Here comes Noel Johnson bringing this beautiful chance spot in for a landing. Well, taxiing out is a week special. It's built by Paul Samaras, and he's from Denver, Colorado, and he's airborne. It's a scratch-built airplane. Look at the smoke pouring out. Bruce Thorpe holding up Claude McCullough's beautiful Waco. This is called a Cuban Waco, and it was used by the Cuban Air Force. Bruce is taking it off for him. It's another one of Claude's masterpieces. A lot of modelers today learned how to fly on one of Claude McCullough's designs. It's a kit from SIG Manufacturing called the Cadet.
Later on, when they get this in the pit area, you're going to have to see how beautifully it's done, all the stitching and everything. Pulling up into the vertical, the extra. A couple extras flying around here.
There's Bruce at the sticks and Claude watching.
Hey, that extra 230 flyer is flown by John Utah.
Claude's now got the sticks. And Bruce is watching. Look at how stable that airplane is in the air. Well, what do you expect when it comes off the tables of Claude McCullough? The man always comes up with some beautiful, unusual airplanes. And there's a beautiful flyby.
Back to the upright position. Looks like we have Bruce out there flying this Waco biplane, I suppose. Bruce is the designer for SIG Manufacturing that designed that 4-star 40. It's a good, fun training sport airplane, low-wing model, produced by SIG Manufacturing in Munson, Iowa.
Landing!
Here comes Bruce now in for his final from left to right with the beautiful Waco. Okay, power attack. Slowing his airspeed up, flaring it, little back pressure. Nice touchdown. You have to remember to push the stick forward on the left side to make the plane climb. Because if you pull up,
Well, here's Dean Lassick, and Dean's from Denver, Colorado. He's got an F6F Hellcat done up from the D&W kit. This aircraft has a 100-inch wingspan, and does it fly beautifully. It's powered with a 3.7 King engine done up in glow with a smoke system. And a beautiful touchdown by Dean Lassick as he taxis in. Well, here's an unusual airplane. It's a Russian biplane called a Polykarbov. It's got a Forrest Edwards radial engine. This is a limited production engine, and listen to the sound of it. The airplane was built by Bill O'Brien. And does it fly well? This is a prime example of those master scale airplanes we were talking about. Not only do you see them on display, but you see them flying. Can you imagine the hours that were put into this airplane? And to have it in the air.
Behind the pilot, a good safety rule.
With over 200 aircraft attending the QSAA, you can imagine the amount of airplanes in the air at one time. 5 flight lines were going full time, and the lineups were unbelievable, but they all got their flights in. Look at the beautiful slow flight by the Polykarbov. And there's Bill O'Brien watching. You'd think he'd be nervous with his airplane up there. But he has a big smile on his face. Whenever we saw Billy, he had a beautiful puppy in his arm. Look at how beautiful that airplane looks.
Landing! Polykarbov landing!
Beautiful touchdown with the Polykarbov. Look at that way that engine turns over at idle. That's a 5-cylinder radial. And listen to the sound of it. Listen to it idle, just like the real thing. And George always has something unusual here at the QSAA. He's got a few stories to tell us.
Well, you're talking about unusual airplanes, and I've got to tell you how we make decisions over here, what to come up in the following year. That's easy. Whenever we want something over here, we sit down at the bar after the banquet later on, and nobody is allowed to leave that place before we came up with that new idea. So last time it took till 3 in the morning, and then we had it.
And this is the result of it?
Yes, we had plenty of alcohol, and we had this airplane in our minds already. The only thing which had to be done, we had to put it together.
What is this airplane?
It is a Sopwith Pup, and the scale is 1/2.72, and it has a very short nose, so you need a lot of weight in the nose, and instead of putting lead in it, we put some displacement in it, capacity.
I see. And what's the what power do we have up there?
It's a 280cc engine, and it puts out at about 5,000 revs, 20 horses.
20 horses.
Right.
I see it's stressed for all kinds of maneuvers from what you've been doing.
Yeah, right. So it's calculated for 20 Gs, and you can pull her right or very tight around the loops, and it sure needs this kind of a layout.
I see. What's the airplane built from?
It's well, it's made out of metal, just beside the ribs. The ribs are made out of plywood. But as a main spar, we use titanium tubing out of a racing bicycle, and the fuselage is made out of tubular stainless steel, braced together, and the leading edges are made of aluminum, so it's a lot of metal in this airplane.
I see you, I noticed also you fly on mode 1. That's the mode where you can walk and for people that can walk and chew gum at the same time.
I think this makes all the funny maneuvers, the mode 1. You get mixed up with the sticks all the time.
I see. For those people that don't know, the mode 1 is throttle and aileron together on the right stick.
Right, so aileron and elevator is separated.
So your maneuvers are more precise?
You could say so, but it's a matter of taste, whatever you want to do.
How long have you been modeling, George?
Well, I actually have been doing this since almost 20 years now, and when I came up with model airplanes, of course I tried to get my wife interested too, and took her out on the, let's say, after half a year of practice, and I couldn't do it properly in those years, and so I had 2 planes set up, trainer planes, brand new, not flown, and I tried to fly the first one, and I put it right in, and my wife had a big laugh on that one. So I gave her a second chance, or the second chance. She flew the second one, and she didn't do anything to the sticks. I showed her, well, this is left, that's right, this is up and down, this is power. She hit the power, the plane took off very nicely, went to a nice and steep climb into a loop, and when it came back from the rear, she just threw the transmitter away and ran for hell. That was fun. Of course, the plane was cracked up.
Are you still married?
Yes, I still am.
Is she still flying?
No, she's not flying. No. We didn't follow that up.
Well, for the size of this airplane, we noticed the way you fly. You keep her close in and do all kinds of erratic maneuvers that the real airplane couldn't do.
Oh, well, I think Mr. Sopwith would have liked this kind of a performance when he had to deal with a Focus.
That's quite true. I noticed that smoke system you have on the airplane. You're certainly putting out a lot of smoke.
Yeah, well, that's a matter of the engine displacement, actually. The more displacement you do have, the more heat you generate. And preheating really is the answer to a good smoking system. And under full power, you do develop quite a bit of back pressure in the exhaust system. This is what you need a booster pump then for under full power.
I see. I know your airplane was almost getting lost in that smoke.
Yeah, well, sometimes you really had a smoke screen in front of the airplane, that's right.
Whose fuel are you using?
Smoke fuel?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know the brand. I've got a can sitting right over there.
It looks like B&B's.
Yes, I think it's it. Yeah, I think that is the stuff.
So you didn't bring your own smoke fuel with you?
Well, you're not allowed to bring any liquids over on the airplane, so you better...
This airplane's covered with what material?
It's Solatex, just plain Solatex. Just sprayed with some nitrate dope on top, where we put some color powder in to keep it light. But it's nothing special.
That's, it's a really immaculate finish, including rib stitching and...
Yeah. Well, this is the usual hairdressing tape you put on there to imitate those rib stitching things there.
So how are you going to outdo yourself next year?
Well, that I don't know yet. I'm still fond of pulse jets, and I would like to come up with something like that. Maybe a thing which incorporates 2 of these pulse jet motors, but we do have a little AMA problem right now. Maybe the AMA makes decisions and allows pulse jet again, and then we'll be back again with pulse jets.
I heard some rumor about an F-15.
That is correct. Quarter scale F-15 with 2 pulse jets, like we had one of them in the Messerschmitt.
I see. That would really be something. I was hoping you'd have it here this year, but
well, the rules just don't allow it.
I see. The other thing, what radio are you using in here?
This is a German custom-made Meinberg radio, and it actually is the first PCM setup ever. And it has a special feature. It warns you via the failsafe system in the throttle area at first. So when you really have a radio problem, the throttle cuts in first before you lose the airplane. And that makes it very safe to fly these big airplanes with that system.
It makes it safe to fly any airplane. Ducted fan people should hear about that. They've been losing some airplanes over radio failures.
Well, the principle is fairly easy. The information on the throttle channel is transferred from the transmitter to the receiver only in each second cycle. And this makes the fail-safe system on that channel more sensitive.
I see. How did you get this airplane over here?
In a big crate. This time we had it shipped over by boat via the Panama Canal.
Oh, so it wasn't in your lap on a 747?
No, it wasn't. I'm afraid not. This is kind of a rumor.
Well, we had visions. We had visions of it being strapped on top of the plane.
Yeah, that was something. Like maybe it would have added to the lift of the 747.
Just like the shuttle.
Yes, right.
Well, George, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you here next year with something different and unusual.
Well, let me tell you, I like to be over here in Las Vegas. It's just this certain atmosphere over here, the friendly people, and the attractions of the city, so it's really fun.
People that have never heard of you before, you've been coming to this event since 1982 with always something different.
That is correct, yes.
I heard you were the first to loop a Wright Flyer.
Yes, that's true, yes. The Wright brothers maybe would have loved that one, yeah.
And one year you had that pulse jet here.
Let me tell you about that Wright Flyer. I did that loop on purpose just to demonstrate how advanced their aerodynamics were when they did the first motorized airplane. So they really did a good job.
And that was all wing warping as well?
Wing warping, biplane canard, right, twin engine setup, and, well, all metal too, to get the distortion out of the wooden structure. So it worked.
So next year we're going to look for something better and bigger and better, I guess.
Let's see.
Okay, he's pulled the power back. We're going to come in for a nice landing here. This is the skill of the pilot here. We got a little crosswind. Actually, it's sort of a tailwind crosswind he's landing in. So here's he's going to get up a little higher. Going to clear it now. It's going to come in a little faster. Nice landing. Sail with the Pup. That's not a baby pup. That's a Sopwith Pup. Half scale from Germany. Traveling over here.
Hör mal, wir müssen gleich einmal Vollgas geben, obwohl das der Motor ist fester auf und der zieht gewaltig. Gut.
I understand George carried it in his lap at 747. He didn't want to get it stressed. diameter propeller and a 10-inch pitch. We need a safety inspector out here on the B-17, on the B-17G. We need a safety inspector. Okay, from Germany, Carol Holman just took off his beautiful top. This airplane you see flying is the Etcher top. Tom flying several aircraft. He was also flying in 1910, 1914. The airplane has a Sonova G2 engine in it, swinging a 22.8 prop. Washed out, they have all that rigging on it. On the back right, so watch this. There we go. Maybe touch and go. Back on the top. Okay, the RC Unlimited guys, you get your planes in the flight line right now. Get them up on the flight line, please. Well, let's get back to wing warping. This whole tip's just sort of bend up and down. Full wing twist. Called wing warping,
Links.
thanks to Curtis Wright and his 1910s pushers after the right. And there's so many wires on this airplane. The drag is just phenomenal. I mean, it looks like a ladder across the front. You can see all these wires. And that's frontal drag. Okay, so what we're going to do. Also, the EMS for electronic equipment, batteries, and accessories. We have a lot of manufacturers. You're looking for photographs of unusual aircraft. Be sure to see Bob. He's over there if you want to try scale research. You'll see Warren Tanner's scale model research. Go see Bob. That plane was made by the Curtiss Aircraft Corporation. It's a plane that Longway Corrigan accidentally flew over the big lake. Rex Perkins? Rex Perkins. Right in on his wheels there. Now he's going to fire a demo flare. Very nice, Zimmerman. This is Curtis Robin.
Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah.
is flown with two twin Moki engines. I don't know the displacement of them, I just know the names, and they are running very nice. These guys have got it together. I understand this model is going to be produced in a kit by Hobby Barn in Tucson, Arizona. Demonstration will proceed with normal flying. Thank you for your patience, pilots and entrants of the QSAA. Appreciate it. Okay, Miss America's down. 1, 2 times. Sounds like we killed both engines here, but the dyno's very low. I can't even hear those suckers. Beautiful landing. They could get him up to the roof. Yes, yes.
Hey, you're in my way.
Sure, he has Alzheimer's. He's Blanchard, 65 years old. If you see him walking around, please let us know. Okay, here comes Fury S for landing our C-Fury one wheel. Yep.
With John Crone and Klaus Nowak. John's was flying this particular airplane in the Unlimited reenactment of the Reno Air Races, and Klaus is the engine manufacturer, and they're going to tell us a bit about it. First, you, John, would you like to tell us a bit about the airplane?
Okay, the airplane is, well, it's a model of a Reno racer that qualified at Reno, and it was modeled after the Blind Man's Bluff, which is a Hawker Sea Fury, and it was highly modified with the squared off tail and cockpit moved back and sort of a longer nose, little clipped wings. And we built it. We thought it would be a good airplane to fly at this first time RC Unlimited races in Madeira.
How did you place with it?
Well, we were lucky enough, first of all, to be top qualifiers speed-wise, and then we eventually we placed second in the gold.
Oh.
That's a long story to get to that.
Is there any short way to tell that story?
Well, the story is that we didn't do too well in the 4 heat races we had to race up there, and so we ended up a little short of points to get into the finals. But we were second alternate. Going into the finals, and one alternate was overweight, so he was out, and then one other racer was nosed on the takeoff for the finals, so it would put us into the final race.
And to eventually come in second.
Second place in the gold. With being fastest qualifier, we had a good fast airplane.
What's it powered with?
The engine is an Aero Quadra 200S. And it's been a great engine.
And well, can you tell the people anything about flying this airplane, how it differs from the rest?
Actually, it flies great. It's a very nice flying airplane. It isn't what I really expected. Building a racer, you think of an airplane as being touchy and temperamental and everything. This is very solid. We put a little bit of washout in the tips, and it doesn't tend to tip stall or anything. And
we noticed that on that landing of yours just a little while ago, where you only had one gear down and you managed to hold that wing up.
Yeah, it surprised me too. It's the first time it happened. I don't want it to happen again, but that was interesting too. It had when I came back on the throttle, it had a lot of. It was still high on the idle, and it was just holding it up. I probably could have gone clear the end of the lake like that, but as soon as I came back on the trim. Throttle trim, it dropped off because the power went down. But that was interesting, yes.
It certainly talks a lot about the design of the airplane.
Well, like I say, the airplane has been great. Well, we took it up there to the Madeira Unlimited races, and we came back with everything pretty well intact. Everything worked great. Up there, everything worked perfect almost. Since then, we've had little glitches on the gear and stuff, but we had very little problems up there.
Well, let's have Klaus talk a bit about the engine and what it's comprised of.
Well, exactly a year ago, John came over to our booth and said, I'm looking for a power plant to participate in the new RC Unlimited races. At that time, I had no idea how good a designer John was, how well he would execute his idea, and how a darn good pilot he was. So we're certainly most happy to have contributed to a small extent to his success. The engine that we used is our standard Aero 200S, but it was complemented with a tuned exhaust system that I designed, and it fires both cylinders into one common chamber. The whole combination worked quite well. The engine was not really optimized for the race, but we did the best we could under the time constraints that were placed on us. And I think all in all, it was a wonderful effort, and we were very pleased to be part of it.
Well, that engine certainly does sound mean in the air.
It should. There's a lot of love and tender love and care in it.
And what does it say for your new line of Quadras?
Well, it should be the top dog of the engines that we are going to continue to build and continue to improve to give people good value for their money and performance where it is required.
Well, I've known you for quite a long time, and we're finally seeing the results of all of your testing, and your engines are certainly turning on these days.
Right. I strongly believe you can't keep a good man down.
And that's true, Klaus. Well, anyways, it was nice talking to you people, and good luck next year in the event.
Yeah, I want to say one other thing too. That this is it's been a team effort, and the team that I originally started with was myself, Bill O'Belmedo, Bill Miller, and Don Nix of Power Master. And Don Nix sort of didn't get involved in the building or anything, but he has been a supporter of ours. And then we had the 3 team members, and we got up there. We added another one, Frank Walters, and Klaus Nowak was there. And without all our effort, we had a good team. We really worked together, and had a lot of fun.
So I take it we're going to hold this team together for next year.
Most of it, I think, yeah. We'll be there next time.
Well, good luck next year, John. And Klaus, we hope to see more great things from Quadra.
We'll be there. We'll be there, for sure.
Well, thank you very much.
Fireplane has Arizona plates on it.
Sure to stop by these booths. MGA has some nice pilot bus. If you forgot your cameras in one distance, someone might stop over and think that and don't forget, let's get those ballots in. Get those voting ballots in. It's approaching the noon time, 12 o'clock. Last time we pulled the ballot box out. So pilots, get your votes in. QSAA booth, please. Okay, this Corsair flying here, the F4U, the Bentwood Fur, made us for Mala Black Sheep. There it is, smoking, hanging in there like a cub. This is the Sport Corsair, fun flying type Corsair. It's really a flight airplane, flies very nice. Now this time on that Sport Corsair, we're going to plan. There will be 2 marathon flight meetings today. The first meeting will be at noon at the QSAA staff area. The second meeting will be immediately following tonight at the banquet room. This meeting is a farewell to past marathon flight participants and those of you who want to participate next year. If you are interested, please attend one or both of these meetings to discuss plans and changes. Because they want to stay down there.
Well, we're here with two gentlemen, a comedy team by the name of Larson and Costello.
That's right. I'm Costello.
And I'm Jess Larson.
And you're in the pizza business.
Not really, but we're sure advertising for them.
They're flying a beautiful Stearman. It's got the Red Baron frozen pizzas on it.
Right.
And they're going to tell us a bit about it. Paul Costello flies it, and Jess Larson built it.
Right.
Tell them about all the work you went through building it, Jess.
All right. Well, originally this was a Bob Dively quarter-scale Super Stearman. And I bought the kit, nice kit, had a few discrepancies, as they all do. And I built this back in '87. We got it flying in about '88. I have since built another one, a sister ship, with a few mods I scratch built. We still have that back up in Minnesota, but the two of them have been flying at shows.
And what do you have it covered with?
I have it covered with SIG coverall, and the finish is a butyrate Randolph Products dope all the way.
So the real aircraft dope itself.
And in fact, it was bought from an aircraft supplier.
And what engine do you have in here?
It has a Sachs 4.2. Got that from T&G, and it's got Carpenter C&H electronic ignition on it.
And what smoke system? I know she pours a lot of smoke out of there.
It's a Harris system.
It's a Harris system. We know that system well.
Yeah, right.
We've got a Bennett on the new one with his improved valve, so that's working good too.
And you two fly as a team. You do the building, and Paul does the flying.
Basically, that's right.
That's the way it's turned out so far.
I built this aircraft, and Paul bought it from me.
Paul, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and how the flying characteristics are for the plane.
Well, the airplane is fairly heavy, weighs 45 pounds. Of course, like today with a wind like we've got, that helps a lot as far as being steady in the wind. It's got lots of power, plenty of power for the weight, flies real well. We're going to try and get top ailerons in it this winter too, because I think that'd help the aerobatic capabilities a little bit better.
Well, we certainly noticed the roll rate of this airplane. It certainly handled quite well.
Oh yeah, it handles well the way it is, but it handled better, I think, with top ailerons.
The new one has the 4 aileron configuration, where we took 3 bays out of the lower, we put them in the up. It almost doubled the roll rate.
I see. And what are your plans with this airplane? Are you planning to enter any scale contests, or just do the IMAA circuit?
Yeah, we've been pretty much flying the IMAA circuit, and from up in Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, and all that bunch. And we would like to get together with the Red Baron Pizza Company and get something out of them as far as sponsorship goes too. We've been working on it, and they're aware of it. We've been with them for about 3 years now, but haven't gotten anything out of them yet other than some pizzas.
So they keep you fed on the road.
You're right.
We hope to. They're scheduled. Their full-blown show is scheduled for Ida Grove next year, and that's their 5 Stearman full scale. We hope to have both of these down there next year, and as the mini squadron. We had them there this year and flew both of them.
I see, but you realize that there is a team scale now in some of the major scale contests.
Right. Especially like Top Gun.
So you're going to try to enter any of these?
That could be fun.
Yeah, that's a possibility that we might try and get into Top Gun this next year with them.
Well, hopefully we'll see you around at more events. And it was nice meeting you, gentlemen.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
And keep up the comedy.
Sherman McCoy.
Yes, and Don is the president of the QSAA and also responsible for putting on this great event. How's it been going this year, Don?
Oh, it's going really good. We had a nice crowd, big turnout, large registration. We had over 200 airplanes, a lot of vendors, and everybody just came out and had a great time, enjoyed themselves immensely, and the weather did turn out and cooperate with us pretty good, so good turnout.
What is the history of this event?
It was founded by Ed Morgan back in 1976, and just some guys that wanted to build bigger airplanes than the little toys they had been playing with, so they got together, formed a club, had 27 original Pioneer members, and it just grew from there. Started having this event out here once a year, and it just caught on. People just love it.
So what do we see for the future of this event?
Bigger is beautiful.
That's true. One thing we noticed about this event, you attract flyers from all over the world.
It's a very popular event. They come out here, and it's not really a contest. It's just a good get-together, and the trophies just represent what the pilots think of each other. The voting is all done by the pilots for the pilots.
So there's no real competition here?
Not really.
We also noticed the German team, they seem to try to outdo each other every year.
Yeah, they're just some fantastic modelers, and they like to come over here. And every time they come, they bring something that's really impressive and different. Everybody loves it.
This trophy we're standing in front of here, what is this one?
That's the Best of Civilian, and that's a gorgeous trophy. That's the one that's in memorial of Ed Morgan. Passed away. It was donated by Circus, and we're very proud of it.
And who won it this year?
I don't know.
Was it Claude McCullough?
Claude McCullough won that one this year.
And that was with his beautiful Wacko.
Beautiful Wacko. He does a great job of modeling. And every year he comes, he brings something just more spectacular than he brought the last time.
That seems to be that way of every model here. I mean, the quality of the airplanes here is unbelievable, and then we see them in the air, too.
They get better and better every year. It's just unbelievable, the amount of time and effort that goes into these models to make every little detail just like the real airplane.
I see. What about the... I noticed that there was a lot of flying logged here. 5 flight lines were going, and airplanes in the air all the time.
We try to keep it going. That's what we're here for, is to fly. So, the more flights we can get in, the better we like it. And as long as we can keep the airplanes in the air, everybody loves it.
Well, all I want to say, Don, is you run a fantastic event, and best of luck. And we hope to see you for many more years to come.
Well, thank you.
Pulling the power back, hitting left rudder, doing a wing over, coming back. Now that's what we call an inside move. This is what we call a tight inside. Back there burped, or the fuel line got a little dirt in it. You know, George is going to get around into the wind gently here. He's going to throttle it